Being a content creator or a streamer or any kind of online influencer having an online presence is actually a business. And if you conduct it as such, you can actually write a lot of these costs associated with your online presence career with your taxes. In today's Wealth One Day segment, I'm going to go ahead and identify some of the top ways that you can write off your expenses as being a content creator. Hey there, how you doing? My name is Jacob Billett. I'm the CEO of Billett Enterprises, and welcome back to my channel. So on my channel, I cover a variety of topics throughout the week, and on Wednesdays, I cover topics that are related to your wealth. And so this is a particular video that I want to put out there to all the content creators out there, be it YouTube, Twitch, Periscope, dlive, whichever platform they use. If you just decide that you want to do blogs and write-ups and do more work through text and video, all of this applies to you. And so a lot of people don't realize that when you do things like this, this is a business. Even if you are not monetized on YouTube, you're still doing this, or any other platform. It's not just specifically YouTube. You are still doing this for what's called a profit motive. And so for a profit motive, you can actually write your expenses off. If you do affiliate sales, you have affiliate links on your different blogs or whichever, or on your videos, that you're doing that to try to make money. Even if you're not directly getting paid from these platforms, there again is still that profit motive. So by doing that, you are a sole proprietor. You are a business. And here's the cool thing about being a sole proprietor. Say this is a part-time thing, right? Say if you're a part-time content creator and you're trying to become full-time. Well, that's a business venture. And so the amount of money and stuff that you are spending, since this sole proprietor, or since this business venture as sole proprietor is not bringing a lot of money and you're in the red, you're negative, you can actually write it off against your other income. Because again, it's a sole proprietor, so with that money that comes in, it gets taxed as personal income. It's not, you're not like a corporation for like how I am, and my corporation has different types of tax regulations. And so there's a lot of things that you can write off that will actually ease your tax burden as a sole proprietor on your primary employment as well. It's a really, really good thing, and I always suggest everybody to go out and talk to tax professionals and get tax consulting. But again, if you are on YouTube and the expenses that you have, be it your internet, your equipment, communications, home office, whichever, all of that you can write off even if you're not making a lot of money yet. So I'm going to go ahead and identify some of the top 5 that I feel that a lot of people are unaware of or not taking the full advantage of. And one of the biggest things is not only going to be your equipment costs in several situations, but the depreciation on that equipment cost. So for example, when you buy like a computer, like an editing computer or whichever, they have limited lifespans because technology changes. They become less and less and less valuable as time goes on. So you can actually do what's called a 5-year depreciation value on that. Therefore, you can write off how much that equipment is depreciated for 5 years, and you can write that off of your income taxes, which is a really big thing. As a matter of fact, they just passed a law that you can actually write off up to 50% of the depreciation value. So for example, if you buy a $1,000 computer that you're using for software editing or multi-streaming or whichever, matter of fact, I just did a big upgrade on my system. So doing that, say if you do a 50% depreciation on that piece of equipment your first year, so that piece of equipment is now depreciated $500 for that year, meaning that I have a $500 write-off that I can put toward my taxable income for the year, which is a really big deal. And you can do that with many different pieces of equipment. So that is one of the ones that really helps the most people out, because again, with really expensive first-time purchases or other types of equipment that does degrade, that does depreciate, that's something that you can definitely take advantage of. And I'll link an article to this video so you can look at this a little more in depth, but always get a hold of a tax professional or a tax consultant. It does help just paying them the money to do their thing, because they're experts at this and they will get you more money back, especially when it comes to being a sole proprietor if you're unfamiliar with tax law and tax regulation. Another big one is advertising, right? So if you're doing Facebook ads, if you're doing Google AdSense or Google Ads, any kind of promoting that you are doing that you're actually paying money for, that's a complete tax deduction. So again, now this really wouldn't pertain to, say, donating to channels to have them shout you out, whichever, that's a donation. However, donating is also a tax write-off. So you can actually, when you donate to have somebody shout you out during a live stream or do work for, matter of fact, on my channel I do that. That is, you're actually donating to me. So that is a tax deductible donation because you're donating to somebody for their work. And so you can also write those off as well. Now, tax deduction, another big one is going to be home office use. Now, you can go either your flat rate home office, or you can actually calculate this square footage of your home office, and also I just want to touch on something really quickly on the donating. When you donate, when you do a charitable donation, there are different laws, and I believe there's actually different laws per state on what the maximum amount is before you need to have like a receipt showing that it's a charitable or non-for-profit or whichever. So again, make sure you consult with people that do this full time. I just want to get that information out there, but again, everybody's situation is a little bit unique, so it always behooves you to investigate and send this information over to people that do this for a living. But again, yes, home office use, all that stuff, you can actually do a portion of your power. I mean, you can really get creative with this. That's another really big thing. Also, cell phone usage. A lot of people don't realize that if you use your cell phone, say 60% of the time for business, if you're on YouTube, if you're streaming from your phone, if you're promoting through your phone, if you're answering texts and chats, from all the variety of different social platforms, that is all business use. And so you can actually write off an equivalency to the amount of time that you spend on your phone promoting your channels, or talking to people about your channels or your blogs or whichever. That is all a write-off up to the percentage of what you use your phone for. So that is a really, really good one. And a lot of people do a lot of their promoting and a lot of their communicating with people through their different ventures, their online ventures as an influencer or whichever, through their phones. So your phone is a write-off. So make sure you take advantage of that, since taxes is really right around the corner. Professional advice. So if you bring in, say, a YouTube somebody who consults you, right? For example, if you donate to me and I come in and I go over your channel or whichever, and you actually have a receipt or invoice of that, and again, that's for people that are professionals or do this, that have a billable receipt. You can actually use that as a deduction as well. Matter of fact, there's a lot of people on Fiverr. There's a lot of people, like for example, Social Blade does this, where you actually pay them for YouTube consulting. There's people that have courses, online courses that you buy. All of that is considered professional advice on your channel or on your brand or on your blog or whichever. And all of that, as long as they invoice you and they are a professional, that's what they do, you can actually write those costs off as well. It's a very big thing. Also, if you decide that if you have like a travel vlog, right? If you have a travel vlog, or if you are doing like hotels or resorts or entertainment or whichever, and you have to drive to these locations, you're doing like, on-scene videos, or on-site videos, that trip is deductible. Your gas mileage is deductible. Even your food outside of a certain radius is going to be deductible. Your stays are going to be deductible. All of that because you're going to be on site. There's a lot of channels actually that are affiliated with me that do a lot of like ghost hunting and abandoned places and stuff like that. Those trips are deductible. They're deductible. So make sure that you keep this documented. And one of the biggest overlooked, or the most overlooked deduction, is travel expenses and gas mileage. Those are huge. And again, depending on what your tax professional recommends you doing, you can do per mile, or you can do flat rate. Now again, because you're using your vehicle, and if your vehicle is primarily used for that, you can also write off maintenance. I mean, there's a lot of things that you can do. I just want to get this information out there. So for a lot of the people that are starting to follow my channel has grown exponentially. a lot of people don't know. I get in the conversation about this all the time going, hey, you know, like this is a business. Even if you say you're doing it for a hobby, but yet if you have a profit motive, like you do have people that, you know, buy things for your affiliate links, or you do get ad revenue, whichever, all of that, even if you don't get ad revenue, still all of this is a write-off, and you can actually have this come off from what you've been paid for online into actually deducting some of your other income, which again is going to lighten your tax burden and allows you to live a more or keep your wealth, to retain the money that you earn, so you can use that to either expand your channel, expand your brand, reinvest, you know, put into retirement, whatever you decide you want to do. So definitely take advantage of these. I'll link an article in the description, like I said earlier, on this video, and definitely go over and take a look. If you have any questions, any concerns, any comments, or whichever, leave it in the description of this video, or get a hold of me through the various ways you can on social media, and I will do what I can to help you out as a creator. So again, thank you so much for being here, and I will see you all during my network stream later on today. Take care.